Every invention, every breakthrough, every masterpiece began the same way, as a dream in the mind of one person who refused to let it fade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There is a power within each of us, a quiet force that whispers in the stillness of night and burns in the heart of every morning. It is the power of a dream. Dreams are the seeds of greatness, the unseen foundations upon which every tower, every symphony, and every triumph of mankind has been built. Without them, progress halts and life becomes routine. With them, the impossible becomes merely the untried. You see, to dream big is not to indulge in idle fantasy. To dream big is to recognize that life itself is an opportunity, and that opportunity demands vision. The size of your dream will always determine the size of your growth. When you set your sights high, you stretch your abilities, expand your mind, and call forth resources you never knew were within you. Now, some may say, be realistic. But realism, when misapplied, becomes the death of imagination. Realistic thinking without vision is nothing more than caution disguised as wisdom. The men and women who changed history did not quiet their dreams when others doubted them. They held firm. They believed. They persisted. Let me give you something to remember. A dream only dies when you choose to stop breathing life into it. How, then, do we breathe life into our dreams? First, we must define them with clarity. Write them down. See them in your mind as though they were already real. Second, commit to daily action, no matter how small, that moves you closer to them. Consistency is the bridge between imagination and reality. Third, guard your mind. Refuse to let fear or negative voices rob you of your vision. Feed your thoughts with knowledge, encouragement, and belief. And above all, persist. The world has a way of testing our resolve, of asking, how badly do you really want this? Many stop at the first obstacle, but those who keep pressing forward discover that challenges are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones, each one shaping the strength needed to carry the dream to its completion. A dream is the blueprint of your future, the silent architect of all that you will one day become and achieve. Just as every building begins with a carefully drawn plan, so too does every life of significance begin with a vision in the mind. Without a dream, life is left to chance, drifting aimlessly with no clear destination. But with a dream, even the most ordinary days become purposeful, guided by an invisible design that is stronger than circumstances and louder than doubt. Dreams are not mere wishes or idle fantasies. They are signals from the deepest part of your being, pointing toward the life you are capable of living if only you choose to believe in their possibility. When you create a dream in your mind, you give shape to the unseen. The dream acts as a map, a guiding force that tells you where to go even when the path is foggy. It provides meaning to challenges because setbacks are no longer roadblocks but adjustments to the plan. Just as a builder does not abandon construction when the weather shifts or materials are delayed, a person with a dream does not surrender to temporary difficulties. They understand that what they hold in their imagination is more powerful than what they see in front of them. The blueprint of your future must be designed with care. A small, vague dream will only lead to small, vague outcomes, but a bold, vivid dream calls forth a future of magnitude. The mind expands to the size of the vision it carries, and those who dare to dream greatly stretch themselves in ways they never thought possible. The dream becomes a magnet, pulling in opportunities, ideas, and people that align with its design. It creates a sense of direction that guides your daily decisions, because when you know where you want to go, choices become clearer. Distractions lose their power, and every step builds toward something meaningful. What makes the dream so powerful is that it lives before it exists. It is a seed planted in thought long before the fruit appears in reality. Everything humanity has ever created, from great inventions to timeless art, was once only a dream in the mind of an individual. The Wright brothers dreamed of flying when the world said it was impossible, and their blueprint became the future of aviation. Thomas Edison dreamed of bringing light into every home, and his vision became the framework for modern civilization. These men did not allow their blueprints to remain drawings on paper. They pursued them with persistence until the world could see what they had already seen. To hold a dream is to hold your future in your hands before it arrives. It demands faith, because the blueprint exists in the invisible realm of thought long before it takes shape in the visible world. It requires courage, because doubt and opposition will always test your resolve. But those who remain loyal to their dream discover that life itself bends to their vision, reshaping circumstances and aligning opportunities with the plan they have drawn in their hearts. Big dreams separate leaders from followers, because they ignite a fire within a person that cannot be extinguished by fear, doubt, or the opinions of others. The size of one's dream determines the scale of one's actions, and it is action that shapes destiny. Those who dream small or not at all often remain in the shadow of those who dare to see beyond the limits of what is common or comfortable. A leader is not someone born with special privileges, but someone who dares to dream bigger than the circumstances around them and who has the courage to pursue that dream until it becomes reality. Followers are content to walk the paths laid down by others, but leaders are the ones who create the roads that did not exist before. When a person holds a big dream in their heart, they are compelled to grow into it. Big dreams stretch the imagination, demand perseverance, and call forth hidden strength. They require one to step beyond what feels safe, to confront challenges that others avoid, and to carry a vision so strong that even setbacks cannot destroy it. This relentless pursuit of something greater than oneself is what sets leaders apart. Followers wait for direction, but leaders carve out direction because their dream will not let them rest in complacency. History provides countless examples of this truth. Consider the explorers who crossed oceans when most people believed the world ended beyond the horizon, or the inventors who imagined machines that could fly when the majority thought such visions were foolish. These individuals were not guided by what already existed but by what could exist. Their big dreams gave birth to possibilities that reshaped entire civilizations. They became leaders not by title but by daring to see what others could not see and by having the will to act on that vision. Big dreams also serve as a compass in times of uncertainty. When obstacles arise, the leader does not shrink back because their dream is larger than the obstacle. The dream provides meaning to the struggle, reminding them why the journey is worth the hardship. Followers, lacking a vision of their own, often give up when the road grows difficult, but leaders endure because they know what they are moving toward. The clarity of a great dream transforms trials into stepping stones, setbacks into lessons, and delays into preparation for something greater. A dream is the birthplace of innovation, progress, and change. Without those who dare to dream big, the world would remain stagnant, bound to repetition instead of growth. Leaders inspire others through the magnitude of their vision, awakening belief in people who might otherwise have doubted themselves. They show by example that it is possible to move mountains, not because they had fewer fears than anyone else, but because their dream was strong enough to make them face those fears. In this way, big dreams become the dividing line between those who follow the world as it is and those who lead it into what it can become. Your thoughts create your reality, because every action you take, every decision you make, and every habit you form begins first as a seed in the mind. The mind is the workshop of life, constantly shaping the world you experience through the ideas it entertains and the beliefs it accepts. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, then your reality will reflect restriction, hesitation, and missed opportunities. If your thoughts are saturated with possibility, confidence, and vision, then your reality expands to match that frequency. You cannot separate the life you live from the thoughts you hold, for the outer world is a mirror of the inner world. Consider how a single idea has the power to change everything. The thought of flying, once ridiculed as impossible, became the foundation of modern aviation. The thought of electricity lighting every home transformed civilization. These realities did not begin in laboratories or factories. They began in the quiet space of thought, nurtured by individuals who believed strongly enough in their vision to pursue it relentlessly. Your personal life follows the same principle. The circumstances you accept and the goals you achieve are reflections of the thoughts you consistently allow to dominate your mind. Your thoughts also shape your perception, and perception shapes your experience. Two people can encounter the same event, but one sees it as a problem while the other views it as an opportunity. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in the thoughts guiding interpretation. This is why cultivating a disciplined mind is essential. If you train your thoughts to focus on growth, solutions, and potential, you will see doors where others see walls. The moment you shift your thinking, you shift the direction of your life. The mind is like a fertile field that never rests. Whatever seeds are planted, whether of success or failure, abundance or lack, will grow. If you continually dwell on fear and negativity, those thoughts will take root and shape actions that keep you small. If you choose instead to focus on possibility, gratitude, and persistence, you begin to build habits and behaviors that naturally attract success. The mind does not discriminate. It gives back to you whatever you consistently put into it. This is why guarding your thoughts is one of the most powerful disciplines you can practice. What you imagine with conviction eventually becomes what you experience in reality. Athletes visualize victory before stepping onto the field. Entrepreneurs envision thriving businesses before a single product is sold. Leaders imagine change before the first action is taken. They understand that thought precedes achievement, and by directing their mental energy, they set into motion a chain of actions and circumstances that bring the vision to life. Your thoughts, repeated and believed, construct the framework of your future, and by mastering the inner world of thinking, you master the outer world of living. Discipline and consistency turn dreams into reality, because no matter how vivid or inspiring a vision may be, it can only come alive through the daily actions that bring it closer to existence. A dream without discipline is like a blueprint without builders, destined to remain an idea rather than a tangible result. Discipline is the ability to hold yourself accountable, to do what must be done even when motivation fades, and to stay loyal to your vision when distractions try to pull you away. Consistency is the steady rhythm of progress, the commitment to repeat small, purposeful steps until they accumulate into something extraordinary. Together, these two forces bridge the gap between imagination and accomplishment. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has relied on discipline and consistency more than on inspiration. Inspiration may spark the beginning of a dream, but it cannot sustain it through the inevitable trials. Discipline provides the strength to act when conditions are not favorable, when fatigue sets in, or when doubt creeps in. It is waking up early to work on your craft, studying when others are resting, and pushing forward when excuses present themselves. Without discipline, even the brightest dream loses momentum, but with it the impossible becomes possible because effort is applied with unwavering focus. Consistency compounds effort into mastery. Just as drops of water can carve through stone over time, repeated effort, even in small measures, transforms skills, builds resilience, and produces results. Many give up too soon because they underestimate the power of steady action. They want rapid success and become discouraged when progress seems slow. Yet the truth is that success is rarely sudden. It is the outcome of daily disciplines repeated long enough to produce visible transformation. Consistency creates habits, and habits create destiny. When you choose to stay consistent, you no longer rely solely on bursts of willpower, for your actions become part of who you are. Discipline and consistency also protect dreams from being derailed by external forces. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and moments of uncertainty. But those who have trained themselves to remain disciplined and consistent will not abandon their vision at the first sign of difficulty. Instead, they treat obstacles as part of the process, continuing to put one foot in front of the other. This persistence not only strengthens character but also attracts opportunities, because the world respects those who prove they are serious through their actions rather than their words. Dreams come alive not in the grand gestures but in the small, repeated efforts that accumulate into something far greater than any single moment of action. Writing a page each day leads to a book. Practicing a skill for an hour each morning leads to mastery. Saving a small amount consistently leads to wealth. Discipline ensures you stay committed, and consistency ensures that your efforts compound over time. Together, they transform your dream from a distant vision into a living reality, built step by step. Day by day, fear and doubt are the greatest enemies of a dream because they strike at the very foundation of belief that keeps a vision alive. A dream begins as a fragile thought, a spark of possibility that requires nurturing and confidence to grow into reality. Yet fear whispers that you are not capable, and doubt insists that your efforts will not be enough. These two forces do not merely slow progress, they paralyze it, convincing many to abandon their dreams before they ever take the first step. While external obstacles can be overcome with strategy and persistence, internal obstacles like fear and doubt can quietly dismantle even the strongest vision if left unchecked. Fear thrives on uncertainty, magnifying risks and exaggerating potential failure until action feels impossible. It presents countless scenarios of loss, rejection, and embarrassment, and in doing so, it robs individuals of courage. Doubt, on the other hand, questions your worth and ability, making you believe that success is for others but not for you. Together, they form a powerful barrier, not because they represent reality, but because they shape perception. A person controlled by fear and doubt sees walls where there are only doors and problems where solutions wait to be discovered. Every dream requires faith in something not yet visible. It is an act of courage to believe in a vision that only you can see. Fear and doubt undermine that faith, urging you to take the safer path, to remain comfortable, to avoid risk. But history proves that progress belongs not to those who avoided risk, but to those who pushed through their fears and silenced their doubts. The explorers who sailed into unknown waters, the inventors who persisted despite repeated failure, and the leaders who stood against opposition all faced fear and doubt. The difference is that they did not allow these forces to dictate their choices. They acknowledged the presence of fear but acted anyway, and they heard the voice of doubt but refused to accept it as truth. Overcoming fear and doubt requires awareness and deliberate action. It begins with controlling the thoughts you allow into your mind. When you continually focus on failure, fear grows. When you dwell on inadequacy, doubt strengthens. But when you feed your mind with belief, knowledge, and possibility, courage begins to take root. Action is another antidote. Fear and doubt cannot survive in the presence of consistent forward movement. Each step, no matter how small, builds confidence and proves that the imagined limitations were not as powerful as they seemed. Dreams demand courage because they stretch beyond the familiar, and whenever you step beyond the familiar, fear and doubt will appear. But the presence of these feelings does not mean you are unworthy of your dream. It means you are on the path of growth. The greatest achievements belong to those who faced their fears and silenced their doubts long enough to let their dreams breathe into reality. For fear and doubt lose their grip the moment belief and persistence take their place. Success requires persistence when obstacles appear, because the journey toward any meaningful goal is never smooth or effortless. Every dream worth pursuing will test the strength of your commitment through delays, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. These moments are not signs to quit but opportunities to prove how much the dream truly matters. Persistence is the quality that separates those who stop at the first sign of difficulty from those who continue moving forward until they break through. It is the steady force that keeps you on the path when enthusiasm fades, when results seem far away, and when others might encourage you to give up. Obstacles are an inevitable part of growth. They are not there to destroy a dream, but to strengthen the person pursuing it. Each challenge develops qualities like patience, resilience, and creativity that cannot be built in times of ease. A person who persists learns to adapt, to find new solutions, and to keep hope alive even when progress seems slow. Without persistence, even the brightest vision can crumble under the weight of temporary hardships. With persistence, even the most daunting obstacles eventually yield to determination. History is filled with examples of persistence overcoming resistance. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before perfecting the electric light bulb. Each failure could have been the end of his pursuit, but persistence allowed him to see each setback as feedback rather than defeat. The Wright brothers faced ridicule and repeated crashes before proving that human flight was possible, yet their persistence carried them beyond public doubt and personal disappointment. These stories remind us that success is rarely about talent alone, but about the refusal to quit when difficulties arise. Persistence also shapes character in ways that ease never could. When you persist through obstacles, you build faith in yourself, a belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. This inner confidence becomes a foundation for future achievements, because once you have endured challenges and come out stronger, new obstacles no longer intimidate you as they once did. Persistence trains you to expect resistance and to keep moving forward regardless. It builds a mindset that understands obstacles as temporary and success as inevitable if the effort is sustained long enough. The path to success is often disguised as a series of trials meant to test resolve. Many people give up not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. They allow temporary setbacks to convince them that their dream is unreachable. Those who persist know that setbacks are not the end but simply part of the journey. They understand that progress is not always visible but is always being built beneath the surface when consistent effort is applied. Success requires persistence because persistence transforms obstacles into stepping stones, turning resistance into fuel, and ensuring that the dream survives long enough to become reality. Surround yourself with people who lift your vision, because the environment you choose plays a powerful role in shaping the direction of your life. No one succeeds in isolation, and the company you keep can either push you toward your dreams or quietly pull you away from them. People who believe in your potential, who challenge you to grow, and who encourage you when difficulties arise act as catalysts for success. On the other hand, those who constantly doubt, criticize, or belittle your ambitions can weaken your confidence and make your goals seem unreachable. The influence of others is subtle but profound, and over time it determines the level of energy, belief, and focus you bring to your journey. When you surround yourself with people who lift your vision, you create a support system that reinforces your commitment to your dreams. Their encouragement provides strength during moments of uncertainty, reminding you why you began in the first place. They hold you accountable, pushing you to stay disciplined and consistent even when you feel like giving up. Positive, forward-looking people see possibilities where others see problems, and their perspective helps you keep your own vision alive. Just as a flame burns brighter when sheltered from the wind, your dreams shine stronger when protected and supported by the right company. The power of association is one of the most overlooked principles of success. Your conversations, habits, and expectations are shaped by the people you spend the most time with. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, fear, and complacency, those attitudes will slowly become your own. But if you choose to spend your time with people who aim high, who work hard, and who live with purpose, their energy becomes contagious. They inspire you to raise your standards, to refuse mediocrity, and to pursue excellence with greater determination. Great leaders, innovators, and achievers throughout history often credited much of their success to the people around them. They sought mentors, allies, and companions who not only shared their vision but also expanded it. These supportive relationships offered guidance when the path was unclear and courage when the odds were against them. Being in the presence of those who see more in you than you see in yourself has the power to awaken hidden strengths and possibilities you might have overlooked. Choosing the right people does not mean surrounding yourself with those who agree with everything you say. True supporters will also challenge you, question you, and push you to grow beyond your comfort zone. They lift your vision not only by affirming it, but by helping you refine it, strengthen it, and pursue it with clarity. They remind you of your values when distractions tempt you and celebrate your victories without envy. Your vision is a precious seed, and like any seed, it requires fertile soil to grow. People who lift your vision act as that fertile soil, providing nourishment, protection, and encouragement until your dream becomes strong enough to stand on its own. By intentionally choosing to spend your time with those who uplift and inspire, you ensure that your vision remains alive, growing stronger each day, and moving closer to the reality it was meant to become. A progress begins with a single, definite step, because no matter how great the dream, how detailed the plan, or how strong the desire, nothing changes until action is taken. That first step is the bridge between intention and reality, the moment when ideas stop existing only in the mind and begin to take shape in the world. Too often, people wait for perfect conditions, flawless timing, or complete certainty before beginning, and as they wait, their dreams remain suspended in thought. But progress is never born from hesitation. It is born the moment a person decides to move forward, even if the path ahead is unclear. A single, definite step holds power because it creates momentum. The mind may resist with excuses, doubts, and fears, but once you act, the resistance weakens. Action builds confidence in a way that thought alone never can. The step does not need to be large, but it must be intentional. Writing the first page of a book, making the first call for a business, taking the first walk toward health. All these simple beginnings carry within them the potential to transform a life. What matters is not the size of the step, but the courage to take it. Every great achievement throughout history began with such a step. The discovery of new lands started with the courage to set sail. Inventions that shaped the modern world started with experiments that seemed small and uncertain. Movements that changed societies began when one person chose to act instead of waiting for someone else. The first step is rarely glamorous, but it is always essential, for without it, progress cannot exist. Taking a definite step also clarifies the journey. Many hesitate to start because they feel they do not know enough or cannot see the entire road ahead. Yet it is action that reveals the way. By stepping forward, you gain new experiences, new insights, and new opportunities that cannot be discovered from a distance. The path unfolds as you walk it, and each step provides the knowledge needed for the next. Clarity comes not from waiting but from moving. The power of the first step lies in its ability to shift identity. When you act, you tell yourself and the world that you are no longer just a dreamer but a doer. That shift in identity builds momentum, and momentum builds progress. Small steps, taken consistently, compound into extraordinary results. What once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable because progress builds upon itself. Procrastination and hesitation lose their grip the moment you act. Fear diminishes, doubt fades, and the dream gains strength. Progress does not require brilliance or perfection, only the willingness to begin. Every mountain climbed, every book written, every business built, and every life transformed was made possible because someone decided to take that first, definite step, proving that beginnings, however humble, are the true foundation of all achievement. A dream must be nourished daily with action and belief, because, like a living seed, it cannot survive on imagination alone. A vision may be born in the mind, but it grows only when consistently fed with effort and faith. Too many people treat their dreams as distant wishes, waiting for perfect conditions or sudden luck to bring them to life. But the truth is that dreams thrive only when given daily attention. Action provides the structure and belief provides the energy. Without these two working together, the dream weakens and eventually fades, but with them, it becomes unstoppable, steadily taking shape in the world. Daily action is the lifeblood of any dream. Each step, no matter how small, is a deposit into the future you are building. Writing a single page, practicing a skill, saving a small amount of money, or making one meaningful connection may not seem significant in the moment, but over time these efforts accumulate into remarkable results. Action transforms intention into progress, and progress builds momentum. A dream left untouched, on the other hand, becomes stagnant, weighed down by procrastination and regret. To nourish a dream is to show up for it every day, treating it not as a passing idea but as a responsibility worthy of effort and dedication. Belief is equally essential because without it, action loses power. You cannot consistently work towards something you secretly doubt. Belief fuels persistence, reminding you why the struggle is worth it when obstacles appear. It strengthens your resolve when others dismiss your vision or when progress feels invisible. Belief is the inner conviction that even though you cannot yet see the outcome, you know it exists, waiting for you on the other side of persistence. It keeps your dream alive in the face of adversity, ensuring that you do not give up when results take longer than expected. Together, action and belief form a cycle that nourishes growth. Action reinforces belief by proving that progress is possible, while belief inspires further action by reminding you that the dream is attainable. Each feeds the other, creating momentum that cannot be easily broken. When you neglect either one, the dream suffers. Action without belief becomes empty routine, and belief without action becomes empty fantasy. But when they are combined, they turn potential into reality. History shows us that every great achievement was built this way. Innovators, leaders, and creators did not bring their visions to life through occasional effort or fleeting confidence. They worked daily, fueled by an unwavering belief that their dream was worth pursuing. They understood that small, consistent nourishment creates lasting growth, and that extraordinary outcomes are the product of ordinary actions repeated with faith. A dream must be treated as something alive, needing daily care and attention, and when it is fed with action and belief, it grows strong enough to overcome doubt, withstand resistance, and eventually stand as a reality in the world. Never let the world convince you to shrink your vision because the size of your dream determines the size of your life. Too often, the world responds to big ideas with skepticism, discouragement, or even ridicule, not because the dream is impossible, but because it challenges the comfort of those who cannot see what you see. If you allow the opinions of others to dictate the boundaries of your ambition, you risk living a smaller life than you are capable of living. Greatness is never achieved by conforming to the limitations imposed by others, but by remaining loyal to the vision that stirs your heart even when no one else believes in it. The world is full of voices that will tell you to be realistic, to aim lower, or to settle for less. These voices often come from people who abandoned their own dreams long ago and now see through the lens of fear and limitation. When you listen to them, you adopt their perspective and begin to shrink your vision to fit their comfort zone. But a vision is not meant to be comfortable. It is meant to stretch you, to challenge you, and to call forth strengths you never knew you had. Shrinking it only robs you of the growth and fulfillment it was designed to bring. Every innovation, discovery, and breakthrough was once considered unrealistic. The idea of flight, of electricity powering entire cities, of voices traveling across oceans, all of these were visions that others mocked before they became part of everyday life. Imagine if the pioneers of these ideas had shrunk their vision to avoid criticism. The world would remain stagnant, deprived of progress and possibility. Your vision, no matter how audacious, holds the potential to inspire, to transform, and to lead others beyond the ordinary. When you protect it from the pressure to shrink, you safeguard not only your future but also the contribution you were meant to make to the world. Holding firm to your vision requires courage, because opposition and doubt will always arise. There will be moments when the easier path is to conform, to quiet your dream so you do not stand out, to reduce your ambition so others are not made uncomfortable by your determination. Yet each time you choose to shrink your vision, you also shrink your potential. You deny yourself the chance to discover what you are truly capable of achieving. Your vision is the purest expression of your inner calling, and no one else can see it as clearly as you can. Protect it, nurture it, and expand it. Surround yourself with those who encourage its growth rather than those who attempt to confine it. Remember that people often criticize what they cannot imagine for themselves. Your responsibility is not to fit their imagination but to honor your own. Never let the world convince you to shrink your vision, because your vision, held at its fullest, is the path to the life you were meant to live. The message of the entire speech comes together in this: every dream is a seed of greatness. but its fulfillment depends on the courage to dream big, the discipline to act with consistency, the persistence to endure obstacles, and the faith to silence fear and doubt. Your thoughts shape the reality you walk in. The people around you either lift or limit your vision, and progress always begins with a single definite step. The world may try to convince you to settle, to shrink, or to abandon your vision, but your responsibility is to protect it, nourish it daily with action and belief, and refuse to let it die in the silence of hesitation. Leaders are set apart from followers not by talent or luck, but by their willingness to hold fast to their dreams until they become real. Every great achievement is proof that vision, fed with courage and persistence, becomes destiny, and your own future waits patiently for you to claim it with unwavering conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, never quiet your dreams. Never reduce them to fit the comfort of others. Instead, expand yourself to meet them, because the moment you choose to silence your vision, a part of you begins to wither. And the moment you choose to pursue it with courage, life itself responds with opportunity. So tonight, as you reflect, I urge you take one step, just one, toward your dream. Make the call, open the book, start the plan. For the journey of 1,000 miles is not begun in thought, but in action. This is your time. Dream big, hold fast, and never quiet the voice within that calls you to something greater.